Jean-François van Boxmeer. He joins us now. Nice to have you on board with us, and I believe there might have been a few technical issues behind the scenes, so thank you for sticking with us. I want to get into the Asia-Pacific region. We mentioned very strong footprint in that Chinese market. So just give us a sense of what you're seeing around coronavirus, whether there's been impact on consumption first up, and simply just getting the product to market.
I think it's way too early to say anything. I think you have to turn to the Chinese government and to the WHO. I'm reading the press and watching the press like you are. It won't be without an impact, obviously, but it's way too early to say what for an impact. You just have to believe that the Chinese government is doing everything it can to bring the outbreak of the virus under control, and that it will be, and you wish for, as short as possible. But at this point in time, there is nothing really that we can say about it.
Say there will be some lost consumption, because we've been talking about the coronavirus through the luxury companies, where you might see pent-up demand and there might be a snapback later in the year. But when it comes to a beer business, it is simply just foregone consumption, isn't it?
No, it will have an impact on consumption. Obviously, people don't get out and don't go to the restaurants, and that will have definitely an impact. What we don't know is the duration. And what we don't know yet, it is the impact all across. China is a very, very large country. So it is difficult for now to say what the impact will be, but there will be an impact, of course.
Let's widen the conversation out beyond China. I see for 2020, you are looking at superior top-line growth driven by volume, price, and premiumization. Give us some color around the trends you're seeing in terms of the beer markets and perhaps the non-alcoholic beer market.
Yeah, I think for a number of years now we have been growing our organic top line by just giving more choice to the consumers. That is craft beers, it's ciders, it's more international brands, it's working on our local jewels. And more recently also getting full steam behind the non-alcoholic beers, and we have launched 2 years ago Heineken 0.0 as being the carrier of that effort. And we think that is an important segment of the market that will develop. Heineken 0.0 is already available in 57 markets, and it contributes nicely to the growth of Heineken, and there are many more markets to go. So yes, it is an important trend with consumers. Think about the lunch occasion. Nobody drinks alcohol anymore at lunch occasions. We make it very clear, when you drive, you never drink. And there are simply people who don't want to drink an alcoholic product, and they like the taste of beer. So we see a lot of development just ahead of us in that, and that will contribute to our top line for years to come.
Jean-Francois, have you seen an impact from the trade war in terms of how you source the raw materials for your beer, where you're choosing to brew, some of the geographical decisions around sourcing the supply chain in those end markets?
The short answer for us is no, for the simple reason that we tend to source rather close to where we brew. So most of our operations are rather close, and up so far, I would say that the trade war in general did not affect particularly our business. I think other sectors are much more affected than we are.
Sir, can I ask you about margin and just the evolution of margin? I note in the past year or so you have talked at different points about rising input costs. Are those washing out as we see some weaker inflation prints?
I think on the one hand, this year we had some tailwinds from lower input costs, particularly on raw materials. Barley is a very important one for us, and aluminium. On the other hand, you see surge of inflation in wages in Europe. So it's a mixed bag of inflationary and deflationary pressures. But overall, over the last few years, we had rather increases of our input prices than decreases, even if we have slight tailwinds this year. We have to continue to work on our productivity to set it off, because not in all geographies can we action the price increases as quickly as we can, do in some countries as in other countries.
And now I want to talk about your successor. You've been at the helm for about 15 years now, so well done for sticking it out all those years. But your successor is an individual who was running your APAC operations. Should investors read into this as a signal of where you're going to be focusing your efforts moving forward as a company?
No, he has been working in all continents, and that's the good news. I think he has been working in the Americas, in Africa, in Europe, and also lately now in APAC. So he has a very, very large and deep experience of our business. He has led successfully our business in Mexico before leaving to lead as successfully the APAC region, and he was just picked by our board as being the most capable successor to me, and I look forward that he will drive the company successfully further.
And you're still a young man, Jean-Francois. What are you going to be doing next? Give us a quick insight.
Thank you. As CEO, I learned always do what you say, but you don't have always say what you do. So I won't tell you what I will do next, but definitely I will give some more time to my family and friends. That I will for sure do.
Well, that's always a worthy ambition. Good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll catch up soon, I know. Jean-François van Boxmeer, the CEO of Heineken.